Hello and welcome. Today I am going to be talking a little bit about change and how change is inevitable in anyone and everyone's life. If you exist on planet Earth, you experience change. So I just want to share some of my thoughts about it. My name is Puja Singh. You can call me Puja. My pronouns are they, them, and let's get into it. Change is one of the most constant things in the universe. It is one of the most common things that we all experience as humans and really as any kind of being on this planet or in this universe even. We experience change all day, every day, from the smallest, tiniest level to the greatest, biggest level. And all of these changes are really so interconnected. And I've been thinking about that a lot this week, that anytime we think about change, any kind of change happening in our life, whether it's big or small, it's connected to something else. That change is connected to some other kind of change as well. And so I've been thinking about how I can personally think a little bit more holistically about change in my own life, because I think when we think about change as an isolated event, it kind of takes away a lot of the complexity of what's happening. And I think it kind of stops us from being able to step into that change, because there might be things that are not directly attached to that change that are really affecting us, or maybe either holding us back or possibly helping us move forward. So I think if we can start to tune into natural changes in the world, in the universe more, in nature, such as the seasons, such as on a smaller cycle, just a single day, the rising and setting of the sun, of the moon, and the ways that all of these natural changes affect us. So for example, of course, this isn't true for everyone, but generally people will wake up in the morning sometime around when the sun rises, maybe, and then go to sleep, after dark, and we sleep during the dark period of the day, or at least through part of the dark period of the day, and we spend most of the light period of the day awake. And so even things like that, just using that kind of energy to move through change, to allow change to move through you. If we start to use these natural cycles as kind of inspiration or motivation or support in helping us to move through changes, then we can start to move through some changes a little bit easier, hopefully, because it's when we resist change that we really run into a lot of problems, because we are always changing no matter what. Even things that can appear to be the same from the outside or even from the inside are often different. Everything is new. Every moment is new. Every experience is new. So even though, for example, eating a particular meal, your favorite meal, say you're eating pizza. Most of us have done that. Most of us have experienced that. Most of us have experienced that many times, but it's never the exact same experience. Even if you have the same kind of pizza from the same place, around the same time of day, it still is not the same experience. So the more we can be aware of that as we are experiencing changes in our life, the more we'll be able to step into those changes more easily. So coming back to this idea of the interconnectedness of change, I think when we're able to step back and kind of look at the bigger picture of our life and see how any particular change is connected to other things, or how it's affected by other things, by other changes, or just by other experiences or situations or thoughts or feelings, emotions, anything like that. So once you can step back and kind of look at the bigger picture, then you can have a better idea about how to navigate that change, whether it is kind of leaning into it more and being maybe a little more proactive to help that change along, or if it means maybe kind of surrendering, letting go, allowing that change to just kind of happen, and maybe not focusing on it so much, maybe not thinking about it or doing so much about it, but just kind of doing other things, taking your mind off of that particular thing and letting the change kind of happen through you. So in yoga, in a physical yoga practice, in an asana practice, we move from asana to asana, from posture to posture, and I often think about it like, moving my one singular body into different shapes, and I'm just kind of like doing different things, stretch and go this way and twist, and it's just this body kind of moving in different ways. But I've been thinking about it recently more as like, almost like this body is a transformer, and almost like when I put it in a different asana, a different shape, a different position, it's almost like my body is becoming that thing. And that kind of just has a different perspective. So again, applying that to any other part of your life, just thinking about the embodiment of change. When we're going through a change, thinking about, especially if it's a change that we're kind of trying to enact, trying to make happen, then the more we can really embody that change and live as if we've already changed, or really being as up to date as possible with where we're at in that change so we can be present, then we can, again, support it. We can help move it along. We can become that change more. So I really encourage you to look at change in your own life. There are always countless examples of change happening at all times. Again, whether it's the change of your breath, take 3 breaths and notice the difference between the first, the second, and the third breath. Take a little bit bigger of a cycle is a day. Take a day and notice changes throughout the day. Notice changes in your thoughts, notice changes in your emotions, notice changes in the weather, in your space, in light. I love watching light change. It's like one of my favorite things. It's so beautiful getting to see the way it changes in my apartment throughout the day and how it shines on different walls and the quality of the light. So anything like that, again, just really tuning into natural changes and cycles will hopefully help you to kind of move more easily through any changes that you're going through in your life. Yes. So I'd like to end off by reading a quote from Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. A wonderful book. If you haven't read it already, I highly encourage you to read it. It's just incredibly captivating and enlightening and has so many layers and is just really inspiring. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. So, with that, I hope that any changes you're going through in your own life are bringing you more joy, more peace, more happiness, more creativity, more self-expression, more life. I hope that whether your mind is labeling them as good or bad changes, I hope that you're able to see that any change that happens is just a part of the bigger picture, and it's always changing. Everything is always changing. So try and think of that in the most positive way, that anything challenging you're going through will change, and you have the opportunity to move into a space that feels better for you. So, wishing you all the best in any changes in your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're into what I'm serving, click that subscribe button. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. I will see you in another video. Love y'all, take care.